hysteria.
All right, so I guess I'll hit you guys with mine. And so I based mine off of my actual 5. So the 5 guys that I had in my wedding and what their traits were, and then I tried to find a historical comparison to that. So my 5 guys are Josh, Tyler, Eric, Cameron, and John. So we're going to start with Josh, okay? And those of you that know Josh, he is I kind of have him as my wild card / berserker, because he is. One time, we had a little house party, and we had a couple of guys there that were getting kind of rowdy, and they were invited by somebody other than the people that we invited. And there's this one guy, and he was a bouncer at like the local bar, and he's like 6'5", 260, big dude, big strong dude. And as we were trying to get them out of the house, they shoved one of our roommates through the screen door and shattered the door. And so once that happened, Josh leapt through the door and just went and clocked the guy and then dropped him and then just went crazy outside. And so, yeah, it was unbelievable. It's one of the greatest things you've ever seen. So I wanted to find a historical comparison to that kind of guy. And there's another thing about Josh that you need to know is that, this is why it's going to matter for this guy. But the guy I picked was Marcus Cassius Scaeva. And he was a centurion for Julius Caesar. He was a career soldier. And when he wasn't fighting in the war, he would frequently train with gladiators. He fought in the Gallic Wars for Caesar. And then he also fought in the war between Caesar and Gnaeus Pompey. And specifically at the Battle of, and I'm going to butcher this name, Dyrrhachium. And during that battle, on behalf of Caesar or for Caesar, he was shot in the eye with an arrow. And why this matters for Josh is because Josh, during work, gosh, it's 10 years ago or so now, got shot in the eye with a screw and has this severe eye injury. So the second I saw this, I'm like, this is Josh. This guy is the ancient Josh. And it said, in one of the articles I read, it said, despite having a pretty bad case of shot in the eye syndrome, Marcus yelled a battle cry, removed the arrow, and kept fighting and killing even more intensely. During the same battle, he was struck by 2 more arrows, and sources differ on where. And then while hundreds of arrows bristled from his shield, Marcus managed even under these circumstances to hold the line and keep fighting. Afterwards, he was promoted by Caesar, given triple pay and commendation. So that's definitely the kind of guy I want when things get a little hairy on my side. Because clearly, like you said with Hugh Glass, taking the damage from the bear, but he kept going. This guy is the same way. He was wounded and kept fighting. I know if I was shot with the arrow in the eye with an arrow, I would not do a battle cry and keep going at it. So that was my first one.
You searched far and wide for that arrow in the eye.
And here's the thing. I was just looking for I think I just wrote like really badass warriors or something like that, and that one popped up, and then the second I saw the shot in the eye, I'm like, that's Josh, that's my guy.